Hey everyone, so this evening I'm just doing a little lab I thought was fun as part of my search studies for the AWS Solutions Architect Associate certification. So it's going to be pretty informal, just going through it, really understand what I'm doing and try to break down my thought process as best as I can, make some mistakes, troubleshoot it, and get the job done, you know? So I'm just going to get right to it. I'm going to break down the scenario a bit of what the lab is asking us to solve and do and the things to create and configure. So let's get right into it. So in this scenario, I'm going to be responsible for ensuring that my applications hosted in the Amazon EC2 instance are able to securely access other AWS services. And I need to make sure that these credentials need to be rotated regularly to minimize the adverse impact of a security breach. I also want to minimize the time it takes to manage these credentials. So AWS IAM roles provide the ability to automatically grant instances temporary credentials without the need for manual management. And identity access management instance profiles provide the mechanism to attach IAM roles to EC2 instances. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing here. So an important first task in this lab here is to go to the S3 bucket. And we got a few here, I'm guessing, right? So we want to take a file, we want to download a file from a specific bucket. Let me check which one it is. A bucket that has the name S3 bucket lookup files. S3 bucket, that's going to be this one. So you want to go in here and download this lab references text. So I'm going to go ahead and download that to my machine. We have it here, okay? And it popped out with this right here for me. I'm just going to put this on the other screen so it doesn't take up space because we're going to be using this a little bit later. And anytime I'm using it or I'm copying or adding anything from this, I'll bring it back to this screen so we all can see what's going on. But for the time being, I'm just going to put this off to the side. All right, we have that done. So the next thing we want to do is open a terminal session, which I already have done because we're going to be SSHing into both the Bastion host instance as well as the web server instance. So I believe we're going to be starting off with the Bastion host instance. So here we are right here in the terminal. And we want to go ahead and log into the EC2 Bastion host instance. I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I'm going to copy the IP address. I'm going to SSH. It's always cloud user on a certain platform here that I'm pretty sure people are aware of. But if not, they don't pay me enough to go ahead and shout them out. But I will say they do come in handy, this platform. But they don't pay me enough. They don't pay me nothing at all. So I'm going to go ahead and just SSH into the Bastion host here. And we're in. Go ahead and clear the screen up a little bit. Maybe even raise the terminal up some for us here. All right, so now we're in. The next step is we're going to be using the CLI. Let me see, what are we going to do? We're going to create an IAM trust policy for an EC2 instance role. So create an IAM trust policy for this EC2 instance role. Now, how are we going to go about doing that? Let's see. So we're going to go ahead and vim a .json file that is the trust policy. I'll go ahead and create that here. All right, we're in. I'm going to press I to start inserting, and they have policy here for us to just copy and paste. I'm not the one to type out policies and make mistakes, but can go over them a little bit, you know? So we have the policy here. That is, this is the, all right. Oh no, before we even do this, let me stop skipping steps. Let me go ahead and quit out of here. Let me escape and quit. Hopefully that's not created. And let me clear it up. So we're in here, but we got to add the CLI. AWS, we got to configure the AWS CLI for us to be doing and running certain commands. So let me go ahead and do that first. It's AWS configure. Well, I think I already have it here on this machine, but just to make sure. Something's supposed to pop up here. There we go. So we want to leave the access key blank. I'm going to leave the secret access key. We want to leave the key ID blank and then the secret access key blank. Then for the default region, we want to go ahead and use US East. Try to get this naming convention correct. US East 1, North Virginia. And then for the default, the default output format, you want to use JSON because we're going to be creating policies here. And now we're all set to go. Boom. Now we can go ahead and toggle through a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and vim this, enter. So we can edit, and then we want to go ahead and paste the policy in there. Pay attention to detail here. Okay. And I'm going to press escape. Go ahead and quit this. Good to go. There we are. So we just created the IAM trust policy for an EC2 role. All right. So the next we want to do is create the IAM role. So we created the IAM trust policy for EC2 role, but now we want to create the IAM role, and it's going to be named dev_role. So I want to go ahead and get this command, this AWS CLI command for that, excuse me. Go ahead and put that in there. And it's copying more than I needed to for some reason. What is this? I don't know what that is. It must be some VS thing. Who knows? Oops. Alright, so AWS IAM create role. This isn't what I copied, so let's go ahead and clear this up. Let's try that again. Sometimes this copy and paste into the command line is just killer. There we go, that's what we want. See, now we have the dev role here. This is what we want to create. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and create this dev_role IAM role. And hit enter on that. Let's see what it's saying here. Latest version from. I don't know what that means. Let's try it again. So policy document JSON dev role policy file trust. No, there is made a version. Is now stable recommended. Oh, so unknown options is -- some AWS create role -IAM. Is this? I think this copy and paste is not doing what this is something else. But these are the errors that I run into, so I'm just gonna tough them out. This is what this is really just not copying and pasting what I'm saying to copy and paste. I don't know what's going on. Let me just do the old school literal copy. I gotta right click and come in here and right click. Can we get something going here? Or what is this even? Why is it double copying and adding other things that I didn't paste in here? I'm not editing any of this out either. It's just gonna be with the flow. I'm sorry. Let me do this so I don't give myself a headache. Okay. Let me copy all this. Let's see. That's literally not even. Unless this goes all the way to the side and I can't see it. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just acting like a fool now. There we go. That's my bad. I don't know why I didn't think to expand it over here. That was just me not seeing that it went over this far. It should have just, let me not complain. Take accountability for this. So we have now created the dev underscore role IAM role. Forgive me for the time that was spent with these errors, but this is comes with the job. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and create an IAM policy defining read-only access permissions to an S3 bucket. So first off, I'm going to start off by creating a file. It's going to be called dev. I'm just going to let you see it right here. So this is the file I'm going to go ahead and create. Okay. But I want to go ahead and vim it, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and vim this file. Okay, press insert. And what we're going to do now is enter this in here and copy this policy right here. All right. So here we're defining an IAM policy with read-only access permissions to this S3 bucket here. So remember that one list from that lab txt? It says it's wanting me to put it in the dev S3 bucket name. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy all the way from here. Just the full dev S3 bucket name. Go ahead and copy that. And go ahead and replace it here. All the way up to the slash and oops. Oh, should I be paying attention to detail again? I'm acting like I'm in a regular text editor here. But that's what I should be doing though, realistically, is putting it up here and then replacing it and then putting it back down. But we'll get there. I'm gonna be more efficient. Just give me a second. We're just getting started. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in here. I know there's little keyboard shortcuts in Vim to make it easier, but I'm trying to take it easy on myself right now. Okay, I can't afford too many mistakes here pressing the wrong keys. All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and hit escape. We're gonna right click this, that in there. Boom. We have now created an IAM policy defining read-only access permissions to an S3 bucket that is the dev S3 bucket. Right here. Okay, let me put this back away. All right, and the next thing we want to do is create a managed policy called dev S3 read access. Okay, so let's create this managed policy. Go ahead and put this command. Let me clear it up for us right here. Put this command in there. And again, all right, it goes all the way through this time. I know this is done. I don't know why the cursor is over here, but let it be. Just let it be what it's going to be. Okay. So then we're going to want to go ahead and copy the ARN that's output here, right? All the way down here to where it's hiding. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. Now I'm gonna put it here in this lab reference txt file. Give a little space, paste that in there. So we have this for later. We're gonna need this a little later. All right, so we just created the managed policy that is dev s3 read access, and it outputted an ARN for us right here for this managed policy. All right, so now the next thing for us to do is to create an instance profile and attach a role to an instance. All right, so now let's create an instance profile. And the first thing we want to do is attach the managed policy ARN that we got from this output here. I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the role. All right. So what we're going to do here is copy this command here. Let me clear this. Let me get in the habit of clearing this up every so often. So here we want to fill in this space. Ooh, what's going on there? Okay, thank you. Can you go all the way up? No? I'm not sure what's going on with this terminal here. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Like maybe work correctly. That'd be a little bit helpful. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste that we took from that last output, the ARN of the managed policy that we created. Let me copy it completely. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and paste it right in here. Make sure we're in the parentheses. Yep. And we go ahead and do that. Now we just want to verify the managed policy was attached to the role, which is the dev role we created not too long ago. So just to verify, I'm gonna go ahead and put this command in there. We're gonna list the attached role policies that are attached to this role, the dev role. So let's check it out. Boom, okay. Now we have the ARN that's here, it's attached there, it's the same as here. We're in good business right now. So let's continue to move forward. Let me go ahead and clear this up. The next thing we want to do, which is still part of the creating the instance profile and attaching the role to the EC2 instance. So now we want to create, so what we did first was attach a manage policy to the role. Now what we want to do is create the instance profile and then add the role, which is dev role, to it via CLI as we've been doing. So first thing we want to do is create a profile named dev_profile. So we're going to go ahead and put this command in here. Go ahead and create the dev profile. Okay, profile is created. The next thing we want to go ahead and do is add the role that is dev role to dev profile, right? So let's go ahead and put this command in there. Okay. Gonna let it do, whoa. Did I do that correctly? I don't think so. Let's try that again. I don't like this. I don't like that at all. Wait, matter of fact, before we do something again, let's make sure we didn't do it correctly. I don't know why this starts with it up here like this. This doesn't make any sense to me. Again, okay. This is what is this? Am I signed out right now? Let me clear this up. Oh my goodness, what does this even mean? Oh boy. Yeah, I'm signed out. So let me go ahead and sign back in. This is idiotic. Let me go ahead and sign back in. Give me 1 second. Sign back into the bash notes. It's pretty sure it's in there. Like, could have went to the history of what I typed, but does it not go? Does this not like me today? I might have to go ahead and trash this one. Yeah, I'm going to trash this one. Start anew. Give me a second here. Okay. We had the nice little icons back. And let me try to sign in one more time here. SSH cloud user at. Oops, sorry. Nope. Okay, nope. Let's not do that. I don't know what that is. Let me just go ahead and get the credentials again. Paste them in there. So okay, now we're making progress again. I was vouching for VS Code here. I don't know what's going on now. Making me look bad. All right, so now we're back. So the last step we were on, let's make sure we retrace our steps here correctly. What I was doing last was I was creating the instance profile and looking forward to adding the role to the instance profile. So I already created the instance profile. Now let me check to see if I ended up adding the role to it. I don't think I did, but let me try again. Let me not even assume, because it gets you nowhere. All right. We're calling it what? All right. I don't know what this means. Let me check to see if it's already there. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Let me clear some space here and run that again. So we're just making sure it's there. Okay. I see something. Okay. Yep. Role name is dev role. Dev profile. We're doing good. We're doing good. Okay. We're doing good. That's what that error was from before, because I must have already did it and it was successful. So let's carry on. The next thing we have to do here is attach the dev profile that we created, the dev profile role to an instance. So we have to go ahead and do this in the console. So we're going to go ahead and go get out of the S3 bucket because we've done our business here for the time being. And we're going to go ahead and go into the EC2 console. And we want to go ahead and copy the instance ID from this instance specifically, the web server. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Copy this. Remember, we're going to paste it here as a note again. This is the lab reference text file. We're going to paste that EC2. This is the web server. I'm just going to make a note for myself that this is the web server. Instance ID. Okay, I'm just spelling things incorrectly. Web server. Just going to leave that here, put it off to the side for a moment. So in the terminal, we want to go back to the CLI here. We want to go ahead and attach the dev profile to this instance specifically, which is the web server instance. So let's go ahead and do that with this command. I want to go ahead and edit it. I really don't like this. I should have just used iTerm. I wanted to be fancy and show off my little cyber background here. Jeez, come on. Why? I really don't get why it does this. Can I do it now? Thank you. I can do it now. I'm given permission. Partially. Because this is not. Oh, no. All right, let me go. This is where I want to put the instance ID that we copied. Let me go ahead and get that from over here. All right. Let me make sure the text is all good here. I don't think so. It is. I don't know what's going on with this stuff here. No, let's not do that. All right. Business profile association. It is now associated with the web server. Instance ID. Say associated. All right. Looks like it's associated. So let's verify it really quick. Let's verify with this command here. Let's see if we can copy and paste this one in here. It makes sense. Look, whoa. Just go ahead and put the instance ID in here. I'm going to copy it from right here. Paste that in there. Let's verify. Let's make sure it's getting done. Let's see. I probably should have cleared. Yeah. I can't read this clear while I do. So let me clear this up and do that again. We want to make sure that the instance is using dev profile as an instance profile. And we also want to make sure that the ARN ends in /dev profile. So. Yep, so the ARN ends in dev profile. That means we're good. This is a lot of stuff. Let's see. Yep, instance ID here. Yeah, we're good here. I think I'm gonna make, I can't do it live time, just make the switch over to a different terminal, but this is kind of throwing me off. But now I know. Visual Studio Code is just, not saying it's unreliable, but just throwing me for a loop at the moment. So now the next thing we want to do is, so the whole reason we did all of this in the first place was we created the roles, we attached the managed policies to them. Now what we're going to be doing next is we're going to test the permissions, the S3 permissions, to make sure that we're able to that the permissions are actually accurate for the role, and is able to get these temporary credentials to list the buckets. So, and then maybe even in turn list the items within the bucket, the files within the bucket. So let's start off. And to do that, first we want to go ahead and now we want to go over to the web server. All right, we want to go ahead and SSH into there. So cloud user, and I'm going to use a whole different IP address that pertains to the web server. That is not the Bastion host, which we spend most of our time in. We're now in the web server, or working our way into the web server. Just give me a moment. Okay. I'm going to get that password. Okay. Let's log right in. We're in. Let's clear this up. All right, now we are in the web server. I even labeled it. I forgot to rename this one as Bastion, but we know where we're at. I think I'm guiding, being a great guide here. Or the best possible moment. All right, so now that we're logged into the web server, we want to verify that the instance has assumed the dev role itself. So we want to go ahead and use STS, make the caller identity. All right. And we should see dev role, dev underscore role in the ARN. Let's see. Let's see. Dev role in the ARN with the EC2 instance ID. Good progress. Good progress. Let me clear this up. Now let's see if we actually have the correct permissions, and let's go ahead and try to list the buckets. So Okay, all right, got some buckets here. Now let's see if we list the items within a specific bucket. That is the dev bucket that we originally, this one right here. So I'll go ahead and do a S3LS, but for the bucket specifically. So let me run the same. I'm gonna keep this up right here for a second. And we can see that the dev bucket is it's doing that thing again where the whole thing doesn't slide over. Which one of these is dev bucket? Dev bucket. Oh man, we're gonna have to just go with this list here. I believe. Let me see. Dev. They all start with the same. Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna copy it from here. So one of these ones ends in 69EE. This one right here. But so what we're gonna do is see if we can list the contents within the bucket. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna paste that. I'm gonna get rid of this here. All right. I want to go ahead and use. I want to list items from this bucket specifically. And again, that's also, what bucket was it? This bucket here. Yeah, we could have copied it from here, but we can't see the full name, so we're going off the reference, the lab reference txt file. And we're gonna go ahead and see if we can list what's in it. There we go. Everything's functioning perfectly fine. Aside from VS Code whipping my brain right now. All right, the next thing we want to do is go ahead and create an IAM policy and role. This time we're going to be using the AWS Management Console. So let me go ahead and get this file out the way. Let's get back to the good old console and get away from this stuff right here for a second. So what we want to do, we want to navigate to Identity Access Management. We're here. Then we want to go ahead and create a policy. Before, let me see. So we're going to create a policy. But we don't want to click and choose. We want to go ahead and go straight to JSON and paste the policy they have for us in here. So let me go ahead and grab that. I'm just going to make a few modifications after we paste it in there. So go ahead and paste it in there. Now we want to use, what we want to do is substitute this out, the prod S3 bucket name, for the actual prod S3 bucket name, which is here again in the lab reference txt file. Move this back out the way, and we're gonna just paste this in there. Paste that in there. I'm going to paste this in here. Okay. So, and I've kind of been skipping over these, but let me go through these. So what we're doing here is we're allowing the users to see the bucket lists within the console. So the action is to list all my buckets and get bucket location. The effect is allow. The resource is the ARN that is S3, everything, and then we make it specific here. So effect allow, get, and then list, and then this right here is what we're putting in here, the resource, which is the production bucket. All right. I'm not gonna act like I know everything that this is saying. I'm still learning this stuff really well. But as long as we make the right edits, we can always deep dive into this and learn more. Go in here, learn more about the policies and everything, which I do on my other time when I'm not labbing. I take notes about the things that I need to dive deeper on. And at the moment, it's gonna be to better understand the policies. I got a fair understanding of it at the moment. I still got to look deeper into why it's the everything, like the wild card, and then here is just the regular bucket itself. Wait, actually get a list on my buckets. Okay. Maybe not speaking correctly, but I think I got a better idea of why there's the two. But let's keep moving forward, so I don't stir up any confusion. So we're just gonna next through the rest of this. We got the policy all set up. I'm gonna next do the rest of these, no tags. I'm gonna review it, and we're gonna name it. Go ahead and name it prod S3 read access. All right. So list and read. All right, I believe it's all set. Let's go ahead and create that policy. Then we're creating this policy. Oh. We're gonna go ahead and also create a role. But before we do that, let's see how far we come and really make sure we're on the right path here. So we've created a trust policy using a role in the AWS CLI. We did that. All right, we created an instance profile. We attached the role to an EC2 instance. All right, we did that on the Bastion host. Then we tested to see if the permissions were valid. They were. So now we're over in the web server instance now, SSH then, and we're creating the IAM policy and role using the AWS Management Console now. So we want to go ahead. So we go ahead and finish that part. So now the last part that we're on is attaching the IAM role to the EC2 instance while using it, the AWS Management Console still. So we already created the policy, right? Now we have to create the role. Let's go ahead and do that. This is in production. This is the web server. What we were doing before was development in the Bastion host. So now we're bringing this to production. Let's get back to where we are. Creating a role. So I'm just going to create a new role. And this role is for the instance. Come on. Did I click it already? Create role? No? Okay. We're going to be using EC2. No extras. And then we're going to, for the policy permission, we're going to use the one we just created, which was the prod S3 access or something like that. Yep. Prod S3 read access. Go ahead and click next. And I'm going to name this one. I'm going to name this role prod role. All right. And this role, the action is to assume the role. The service is EC2. And it allows the EC2 instance to call AWS services on your behalf. Sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and create that. Okay. Let's go ahead and create that. Thank you. There we go. All right, let's make sure it's all created up. Can I view it? No? Okay. There we go. Here's the role. Here we are. Let's look at we already looked at the JSON we put in. Okay, let's see. Here's the policy. We put this policy in there. Remember we had to change up this ARN to make it sure that it was the prod ARN. All right, we're cool. We're cooling. We're just about at the finish line. We just have to attach the role to the instance. So we're going to navigate back to EC2 right after we create the role and everything. If the PC allows me. I don't know why every time around this step, it gets to lagging. Okay, it doesn't take that long. Oh, now I didn't press the X. No. EC2. Let's make this easy life. Come on. I could have just went back to services and clicked it. Forgive my machine. Likes to embarrass me sometimes when company is watching. Come on. Come on. Can we just go to the dashboard, please? Thank you. So all we're doing is here is just attaching the IAM role to the EC2 instance that we want to allow to assume the role. So we're gonna go ahead and we're doing it for the web server, the production server. So we're gonna go ahead and select it. I'm gonna click on actions. I'm gonna click on security. I'm gonna go ahead and modify the IAM role. Nope, we don't want it to be with the dev role anymore. We want it to be in production. I'm gonna update that role because we know it was working. We know it was working in production. I mean, excuse me, in development. I was back on the Bastion host, I think. Or wait, no, I'm speaking incorrectly. Wait, no, we allowed it to assume the role. Yeah, okay, something along these lines. We're gonna get it. So let's just go ahead. We did that. Let's go ahead and test the configuration. All right. So still within back to CLI, right? Tried to run away from it. We gotta go back. We're gonna make sure it all is working out. So I'm gonna go ahead and call on this identity to make sure it has assumed the role. Let's go ahead and make sure. Let's see what it's gonna say. Production role, prod role, good. Before it was in dev role. So we're gonna go ahead and we want to see if we can list the buckets. Let's see. S3, LS. We're listing the buckets. Now this time around, we want to go ahead and see if we can list what's in the bucket, but not the dev bucket this time. We want to see if we can list what's in the production bucket, the S3 production bucket. So we want to go give it an S3 LS. We're gonna go into S3, and then from this list, I mean it's in here somewhere, but again we can't see to the further naming convention. So we're gonna go ahead and take it from here. Here we have it. Go ahead and check. Let's see if we can list it out. Boom. Now we can see what's in the bucket as well, the production bucket. Let me move this back over here. That's the whole shebang right there. We did it. That's the end of it. I feel accomplished, even though it took a second for Visual Studio Code to pick what side it was on, the side of embarrassing me or allowing me to flourish. But hey, we persist through adversity. So yeah, I'm gonna do a couple more of these. Hopefully they're more I said they're pretty informal. Just my thought process behind it as I'm learning. I don't know this like I'm an expert or anything. That's not what I want to give off. Just want to go through my process, quick little video, you know, make sure that we completing at least 1 or 2 labs a day. I would say 2 at best to be productive while we're going through the course. So yeah, thank you for following along if you made it this far. Like I said, I'm gonna get better quality in these videos. I'm not a content creator like that. I just wanted to share my thought process as I go through these things and the learning curves that I run into. And the next videos, we're just gonna keep getting better and better. So till then.